a big hand for errors, flaws, for mistakes. Without them we wouldn't be here. Let's hear it for inexactitude, for imprecision, bravo. For fudging it, hip hip, 3 cheers. DNA of twisted double helix fame is an expert at that self-replication game. But once in a million times it goes wrong.
Hey everyone, it is FabFit TV and I am Kim Barnes-Jefferson, your host, and I am with you every second and fourth Tuesday of the month. I am a healthy living expert and a fitness coach, and I teach women how to give up on being perfect. Stop the obsession and stop beating the crap out of yourself over the food you eat, how hard you work out, and realize that when you stop obsessing, the results will come when you start to listen to your body. And let's all face it. I mean, it's high time we started to love ourselves, our bodies, and our businesses. It's not about, go big or go home. That expression makes me cuckoo. Same with beast mode. That just makes me crazy. So, like I said, I'm here every second and fourth Tuesday of the month, and I share with you health tips, mindsets, recipes, cooking, anything to make a healthy life easy. I really want to work through the fluff, if you will, and help you kind of figure out all the stuff you hear. How do you take action? Because we hear so much stuff. Like, we all listen to things, read things, but it's how do you make that transition into my everyday life? So today I want to, here we are. I was just talking to the producer, and I'm going to say this, but I don't mean it. We're at the end of summer. I'm saying it because it's Memorial Day, ding dong. It's Labor Day weekend in 2 weeks. And so typically that's kind of the signal. The kids are finally going back to school. Here in Boston, all the college kids are going to start to move in. And that for us is really the kind of the kickoff to the fall season. And with that kickoff to the fall season, many of us probably had a good summer. I know I just got back from vacation, and when you're in Maine, you can't not have a lobster roll. That's just not done. And you can't, and if you're, you see the day boats come in, you can't not have as much seafood as you possibly can. Some of it may not be prepared the most healthy way. So, I'm sure many of you have had that kind of vacation where you might have had a little too much ice cream, a little too much barbecue, a little too many adult beverages, and you want to go in the fall feeling amazing. And, I want us to kind of look at this as this is our setup so that we're good. We got a plan, we got a structure, so that we don't play that slippery slope of, oh, I'll do it in September. Oh, I'll do it in October. And then November comes, oh, I'll do it in January. Let's set ourselves up for success, and let's start right now. And so today's show is all about how do you start a program? How do you start a program, and then how do you take that program and morph it into something that works for you? Because I heard this thing today, was perfect. If a plan isn't doable, it's not done. And so many of us, the most challenging part of starting anything, diet, job, relationship, whatever, it's the beginning. You're going into uncharted territory. You're just I know where I want to go, and I gotta hope that this path is going to get me there. And before we get started, what I want to share with you is that the blessing and the curse about healthy living is that I wish it was this linear approach. You go from here to here, goals achieved. But it's this and this and this. It's not a straight line. And going in knowing that it's not a straight line, going in knowing that there are going to be hiccups, going in knowing that there are going to be slip-ups, and knowing that, it's going to happen, but I'm not going to be perfect. I'm not going to obsess. I'm just going to dust myself off and start again. And, you know, I've been talking about this a lot. I've been watching the Olympics over the last, few weeks. And there was a hurdler, I think he was from Haiti. And, with the hurdles, it was a 200-meter hurdle. And the hurdles are pretty much anywhere from 3 to 5 steps, depending on how tall you are. And literally, it was probably the second or the third hurdle. Guy didn't clear it, stumbles, trips, falls. And he sat there for a second, and then he got back up. And he finished the race. And I want you to picture, what it's like if you're standing on a track and you're looking at these hurdles. And when you look at these hurdles, that's life. Because if you think about it, there is going to be a time when a kid gets sick, you get sick, your boss tells you to work late, your car breaks down, traffic, class gets canceled, whatever. There's going to be a hurdle. And if you don't clear that hurdle and you trip over that hurdle and you fall tushy over tea kettle, you have to decide, I'm going to get back up. Because with that hurdle, there's always a way over, under, or around it. And you just have to know that that's going to happen and just say, you know what? This is just a bump in the road, a hurdle. I'm going to get up. And I'm going to do it all over again. And guess what? Lesson learned. Maybe he didn't jump high enough. I don't know what it was, but I'm sure he's practiced this so many times that he knew exactly what happened. And he could say, you know what? This is why I didn't clear that hurdle. And so anytime you trip over a hurdle, I want you to play CSI, if you will, and say, okay, what happened? What was the trigger? And what caused that? And what could I have done to not trip over that hurdle? All right, so it's the art of the start. And for many people, we've seen those nutrition shows where they go, the celebrity trainer goes home with the participant and they clean out their cupboards, and the participant is like crying, or he's like, no, I gotta have that, I need this. And that's one approach, deep end, rock, let's do it. Or what you could do is, I always say, action is momentum. So, if you sat down and brainstorm, okay, these are the things I know I'm not doing that aren't contributing to my health. And write them down. And then take a look at that list and you say to yourself, which one of these could be the easiest thing to knock off? And so do that. And you want to do that until it feels good. It feels like you're no longer thinking about it. Because usually when we start a plan, start a program, whatever the heck you want to call it, we think about all the things that we're going to lose. So while you're writing down that list, you're like, that's not contributing to your health. So I'm having you, the spin I'm putting on it is, we want to get healthy. I don't want to get skinny. I don't want to get ripped. I want to get healthy. I had some guests over this past weekend, and we talked about healthy living and things like that. And one of the things is they've recently changed how they eat, and it was because their daughter has been struggling with her weight, and they didn't want it to be about her losing weight. They made it about the family getting healthy. And that's the approach I want you to go with. I want you to say, I want to be able to be 70 plus and still be able to get out of this chair unassisted. I want to be able to go to my doctor and he said, what the heck are you doing? Your numbers are amazing. Be it cholesterol or whatever else that they're tracking. I want you to, that's what I want for you. And that's what I want those goals to be. Now, the byproduct is if you lose an inch or two, you go down a size or two, rock on with your bad self. But if the focus is on, I want to age with grace, I want to age healthfully and not be dependent on some type of drug to make me healthy, then that's what the focus should be. So, so the second part is you can do your research. You can say, okay, these are my goals. This is what I'm trying to achieve. And then you can really research the heck out of it. I mean, you can go to the far ends of the internet to see what particular plan might be best for you. Or you can work with a coach that can help you kind of like cut through the clutter and really cut to the chase and make things, kind of, I say, give you a leg up and make things a little bit more tailored, more specific for you. So what is a structured diet? The structured diet is pretty much what I call, you can go to any bookstore, Amazon, and there's, a zillion diet program books. It's Atkins, Zone, South Beach, all of those, Whole 30, all of those plans are right there for you. You read the book, you follow the program, and so forth. And that's, there's certain diets that are out there that I like, and I like principles of it, and I pull principles of that and I apply it to some of my clients. I like it because there's a bit of an education. It teaches you some things. It's not just do this or die. And so many of us want that do this or die, but I always want people to know why. Why would I die if I didn't do this? And so, you want a little education, but you also don't want it to be restrictive. It's when things become too restrictive is when we get buck wild. And that's when we want to, we're always like, well, just this once, or we fall into temptation. When you're feeling satisfied and you found a program that doesn't make you want to run across the street to McDonald's, which literally is across the street, or run down the street to Tuscany is my favorite ice cream place that's literally, I'm staring at it right now. You want that satisfying, you want that, you're satiated and you're not looking for something to nibble on. So that's the beauty of the structured diet. The key thing that you want to look for in a diet is that, does it teach you something? Does it teach you about food? And, I'm not a fan of going good or bad. I am a believer of good, better, and best. And it all depends on where you are and the particular situation that you're in. There are foods that are just like knock it out of the park. Then you got the next level, and then you're like, you know what? It's better than nothing. So that's how I rank it, because when you go into that good, bad, like it just feeds into that whole obsession and perfectionism that if I don't do it the right way, then it's crap. And that's just too much of a mindset that we need to break out of. The other thing is, does it give you balance? Does it give you the ability to go to your kid's birthday party? Does it give you the ability to have a glass of wine on a Friday night with your husband, or have a glass of wine at a wedding? That's where you want that balance, because life should not be about my perfect diet. It should be about, I can eat well, but then I can also have a few nibbles and not be worried about my health. Not be worried that it's going to snowball and I'm going to go on this massive bender. And then the other thing is, so many of these programs, diets, they don't include exercise. And Jack LaLanne, father of modern fitness, he says, fitness is queen and nutrition is king. Now, we all know that most monarchies have two. They got a king, they got a queen. And they go hand in hand. And I'm not saying, one of the, catchphrases you hear all the time is that you can't outrun a bad diet. And that's true. And so many people believe that it's this easy calories in, calories out, that it works like a bank account. And I wish it did. It would make my life a lot easier, it would make your life a lot easier. But unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. So it's really about finding that balance between the foods that will help build nice, strong muscle and the amount of exercise that will help you burn off that excess that you have. Now I know, and you're like, well, what's the excess? Is it calories? And I really wish it was like that black and white, but there's so many like systems and processes that go on in our bodies, and especially as ladies, there's so many, hormones and things like that all kind of contribute to, what our weight is, what our body fat is. And so it's more about finding that right balance of the right foods for you and the right amount of exercise for you. And, I was having a conversation with one of my clients, and so she was saying that she was feeling bloated. And I said, all right, you got to track your food. That's the only way you're going to know, and really pay attention. Like, after you eat certain foods, what's going to happen? And one of the things she was eating was coconut oil. And she's like, you know what? It's the coconut oil. Every time I eat the coconut oil, I feel so bloated. And I said, you got to take out the coconut oil. She's like, coconut oil is so good for you. And I said, you is the euphemism. It's not good for Sandy. It's good for me. It might be good for you, but it's not good for Sandy. So, that's what I'm saying. So many people are like, let's get rid of this and let's get rid of this out of their diet. But you don't know how it affects you. So if you are documenting it and you realize it makes you feel bloated, makes you have cravings, it's gone. But if you don't experience any of that, it might not be a bad food for you. So, when it comes to the nutrition overview, I just was touching on that. And, you want to know why. You want to know why I'm adding whole grains. What the heck is a whole grain? Why would I have that versus anything else? How do I read a label? Things that way. And I teach my clients a lot about food labels because, there's so many nuances to the food label that food companies can get around. But if you read them correctly, you're able to say, you know what? I know what they're doing. And you're able to pull that information out, and you're able to know what foods are going to help you and what foods are the better choice for you. And it'll help you, easily create a meal versus always having to rely on having a plan. One of the best expressions is, you can teach a man to fish or you can give a man a fish. My philosophy is that I would rather teach you how to fish so that every single day you know exactly what to eat. You're not like, what do I eat? Because I see it all the time. So many people are like, just hand me a plan and I'll do it. I'll follow it to the end. But I'm like, you know what? I could do that. That's enabling you. But once this plan stops working, once this plan runs out, what do? Do you know? So then you're on to the next plan. It's kind of like, I'm just giving you the diet drug, and then you're gonna go to the next diet drug, then you're gonna go to the next diet drug, and so on and so on and so on. So the beauty of a structured diet that it helps give you a path. It helps kind of give you a trail map, if you will, to follow. And what I say to people is like, great, buy the book, but then also say to yourself, I got the book, but I'm also going to track what's going on so that I can see, just like Sandy, is coconut oil making me feel bloated? Is something else I'm eating, is that making me have more cravings? For me, if I have egg whites in the morning for breakfast, I'm starving for the whole day. And I'm nibbling, and it just sets me off on a snowball. Same thing with bananas. They're both healthy foods, but they don't work for me. So I want you to kind of, if you're on a structured diet right now, start thinking of the foods that you're eating. Start thinking about, what can you learn from this structured diet so that you can turn it into your diet, your plan, and it works for you so that you're feeling energized. You're not feeling hungry, you're not having any cravings, and hey, you're fitting into your pants simply, easily. And then, it's the balance. I've alluded to this earlier. You don't want to be on this restrictive diet that you feel like, oh my God, I'm only allowed this. And, you have a piece of paper, this is the only thing that I'm allowed to have. Anything on this paper I can't have. That's not a life, because at some point you're going to feel like a prisoner. And when you feel like a prisoner, you want to escape. And when you escape, you're going head first into Old Country Buffet, borrowing a friend's maternity pants. And no one needs that. So, I always ask, flip through the book and say, can you see yourself following this for the rest of your life? Because it's not, as the book says, follow this for 30 days and you'll be right as rain. Malarkey. You need to say, okay, this is what I have to do for 30 days. But then how do I translate that for the next 30, the next 30, the next 30, the next 30 until the day I die? And, most people don't have that long-sightedness. They want, I don't know if it's Americans. I think it's just the society in general. We want things like that. It's I want to be able to as quickly as I can open up my phone, that's how I want to, lose the weight. That's how I want to get fit. That's how I want to get healthy. Like, as soon as I press a button, it should happen. And that's not how our bodies work. Maybe science will do something amazing in the next X number of years, but right now, nope. It works when your body is on its own flipping timetable. So it's, like I said, there's no such thing as a one and done. Like, this is like, what can I do to make it a lifestyle? Something I can do day in, day out, do when I travel, do when I go on vacation, do when I go to a friend's house. What is it about this diet that's going to work for me? And, one of the ways that people are like, well, how do I jumpstart it? And I alluded to this earlier. The best way to jumpstart weight loss is to work with a coach. Sure, you can do it on your own. You can read the book. But one of the beauties of having a coach is that we've read all the books. And we've been able to pull from the books the pieces that will work the best. We're able to sit down with you and say, okay, what are your goals? And then say, okay, based on your goals, let's try this. And then really step you through a process so that you're able to, and we're able to, document what's happening, and so that you have your own body blueprint. You have your own kind of trail through the body woods, if you will. And then it also just, it just the legwork, just helps you cut down the legwork, helps you really understand it, really hone in on it. And one of the things that I always go to tell my clients is that I want to teach you so that you know what I know, because when I started in this business, that's how I learned. I asked a ton of questions, and my fitness mentor answered them all. And I just kept asking, kept answering. He would point me in the direction of books. He would, point me in the direction of conferences to go to. And that's how I was able to accumulate all this knowledge. Now, if that's your jam, rock on with your bad self. But if you're not like me and you're like, I ain't got time for that, then hire a coach, because that coach is like me, who is looking through and sifting through everything. I mean, I was just listening to a podcast on my way here about poop. Who else would do that? I do it. And working out, like, it's a non-negotiable. Now, when I say workout, I don't mean beast mode. I don't mean go join CrossFit. I don't mean run a marathon. I want you to start simple. If you're just getting off the couch, I want you to think about something as simple as going for a walk around your block. Going with a friend to a Zumba class. Maybe, I know here in New England we have Comcast, but we have on-demand fitness. Maybe there's a 15-minute workout. Just something that makes you move. And it could be as short as 15 minutes to as long as an hour. But just something that makes you move. I'm not even going to get into breaking sweat. I just want you to move. And we'll start with that. I know for many of you, so I used to work with a client. I loved him. He had this whole philosophy that I just try as hard as I may, he wouldn't break it. He felt that he would come to the gym, he would burn a certain amount of calories, and that enabled him to eat. And no matter how many studies I showed him, no matter how many times I told him that didn't work, he felt that was how much he could eat. And even some of the more popular apps do the same thing, where if you're tracking your food and then you put in your workout, they'll immediately deduct the amount of food for workouts, and it doesn't work that way. Our body is not like a bank account where I can deposit 500 calories from a workout, and so that means that's 500 more calories I get to eat. Not so much. Not so much. So there is that balance, and it will come with time. And just as you're tracking your food, you're tracking your exercise to see what works for your body, what works for you. Are you someone who needs, a ton of cardio? Or are you someone who needs, a little less strength training, a little bit more strength training, a little bit more metabolic? What is it that you need? And find that that right spot, that sweet spot. So if this sounds of interest for you and you really are intrigued, how do you find the right diet that works for you? I'm doing a 7-day challenge, and it's going to start on September 1st. And so all you need to do is just go to my website, and you can click on the link there. and it'll just hop you in. It's going to be 7-day video challenge, and each and every day I'll give you something really simple to do to just help you build momentum going into the fall. I know I'm saying that word, I can't believe it. Give you the momentum that's going into the fall. So, I just want you, it's not restrictive, it's just little simple habits to build upon. And, by the end of it, I just want you to be able to look back after 7 days and be like, you know what? I did drink more water. I am sleeping a little bit better. I'm taking better care of myself. So it's just real small, simple things that I want you to focus on. So that's all I got for today. All of my notes are available at fabfitsquad.com/live-tv. The notes are up there. You can just grab them. And right after the show, I'll post the link for my 7-day healthy challenge. I will be back again on September 13th, and I'll be talking more about, how do you really, now that I've given you the structure of the program, how do you make this into a lifestyle? And how do you if you were given 4 to 6 weeks, how could you work to create a life that you can duplicate? So that's what I'll be talking about on September 13th, and I look forward to speaking with you then. I'm always available on my Facebook group, Fab Fit Squad, and also you can shoot me an email if you have any comments or topics that you would like me to chat about. You can follow me on Instagram as well, and my Facebook page is fabfitsquad.com as well as my Instagram. So you guys have a fantabulous rest of the week, and I'll chat with you again on September 13th.